The man was shocked to realize that there was a loophole in the lottery ticket he had just bought. So he pulled out a napkin and started calculating the probability of winning. Through a lot of mathematical formulas, he calculated that if he bought more than 800 tickets at one time, he would surely make a profit. So in order to verify his calculations, Paul immediately went to the bank and withdrew a month's worth of his pension, and then immediately went to the lottery station and said he would buy 2,000 lottery tickets. Soon it was time for the lottery to be drawn, and Paul carefully wrote down the winning numbers. The next day, after checking the winning numbers and adding up all the winnings, he realized that after deducting his own capital, he had not earned a single penny, but had lost $327. Paul wondered if he had miscalculated, but as a math professor who had taught math all his life, how could he have miscalculated? So he went back to the lottery store the next day and checked the rules again and recalculated the odds of winning. After this calculation, he was sure that his calculations were absolutely correct. Since his calculations were correct, then he must have not bought enough tickets. So Paul told his friend about the loophole in the lottery and tried to get him to buy a ticket with him. But his friend thought he was crazy about money and advised him to stop dreaming. But Paul didn't give up and made a crazy decision that night. The next morning, he went to the bank again and withdrew all his pension in one go. Then went to the lottery station and bought 6,000 tickets without hesitation. The salesman was so impressed that he had to print them out for 3 hours. After checking the winning numbers, Paul realized that he had made a profit of $15,700 in addition to his capital. His calculations were right, and he was so happy that he continued to buy lottery tickets based on this method. And he kept making money. In order not to let his wife find out that he was playing the lottery, he hid all the money in the storage room and even in the popcorn bucket. But soon his wife found out and questioned him. Paul had to tell his wife that he had made the money from the lottery and that he had accidentally figured out a loophole in the lottery. But it was a risky business and they didn't have much of a pension, so he hid it from her. But he couldn't help but try it out. He was expecting a storm from his wife, but she suddenly turned pale and asked Paul why he hadn't told her earlier that it was not only legal, but also profitable. She'd been secure all her life, and now she wanted to go crazy too. So the next day, Paul took his wife to the lottery store to buy 10,000 tickets, but the town's only lottery store was closing down. So if he wanted to buy a ticket, he'd have to drive 10 hours to the city.